From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper. It is time for the premier sports betting show. And boy, oh boy, I got my man with me. And you already know what time it is. And it's time for the PrimeTime Angles Live. And we got our boy, Mike Abadir, our Wednesday correspondent. Oh boy, oh boy. What's going on, Mike? How you feeling today?
What's up, Big Papa?
I'm chilling. I'm feeling pretty good last night after hitting that 55-1 pick six last night that I gave out on the show, man. Primetime pick six, got that bad boy home. So, I hope you jumped on it, man. You watched it early.
I'll tell you, Pop, I've made it my own rule. You got to have limitations. You got to have discipline in life. Monday and Tuesday are off days for me in terms of spending the dough on entertainment.
I got you.
That's just the way it is. Now, we text every day. I get your text every day. If you personally say, hey, get your ass off the couch, get your app open, make this wager now, then I know you mean business, then maybe I'll look at it a little bit differently. But no, generally speaking, on Mondays and Tuesdays, especially because let's be honest, man, there's a lot of shit tracks. Can I say shit tracks? There's a lot of shit tracks on Monday and Tuesday. Now they've gotten better during certain parts of the year. Like I like it how you got Emerald Downs and some other tracks kind of running with these weird schedules post-COVID or whatever. But generally speaking, I did not get on it, but I regret. That's the whole point of me rambling about this is I regret not getting on it because 55-1 sounds beautiful to me.
Right, but this was MLB though. It wasn't.
I thought you said pick. Oh, pick six.
Because the way I
non-racing pick six. So here I am giving this soliloquy and doesn't even make any sense. It's not even relevant.
Right. I know. I use a lot of track terms with the parlays that I put out. So my bad. I should have referenced that better. The primetime MLB pick six last night hit 55-1, man. So
nice.
I hope you would have had it. You know what I mean? But I'm with you on Monday and Tuesday tracks as well too. And then I sent you the client card Monday that swept as well too. So if you guys really want to,
I may have to change my motto about Monday and Tuesday then.
Right. So pretty much, man. Let's jump into it real quick. Amon Ra.
Because by the way, how that. I got into that rule. Too much late night Mountaineer, if you know what I mean. Too much late night Mountaineer makes you make that Monday, Tuesday rule.
Oh, yeah. You should. Hey, Mountaineer will mess you up. You'll sit up there and have your 8-1 thinking that it's going to come through in the 3-2. You get 6 3-2s in a row. Then you try to get it 3-2 late, and it's a 20-1 at the end of the night. It's like, geez, Louise, just get it.
Exactly, man. Then you hear that guy with the British voice, what is this big saying? Like, that your horse didn't change leads or something. And I'm like, man, change your damn lead. Do whatever you got to do, man.
Right.
But hey, that's the way it goes.
Yeah, Mountaineer will frustrate you. It will. So,
but you want to still talk racing though, right now, right?
We're gonna talk racing after this.
A little bit better quality though than Monday, Tuesday claiming races at Mountaineer. Sorry, Mountaineer. I'm not trying to make fun of you guys. I love you guys. I've given you guys boatloads of money over the years. Believe me.
Look, man, it's Turf Paradise or nothing on Monday or Tuesday or Park, at least. Okay, he parks in the morning, Turf Paradise in the afternoon, and if you're feeling really froggish, then you can leap onto Mountaineer. That's my thinking with that.
I've never liked Parks. I've always sucked at Parks, but because Chris Griffin is going there to be the announcer, I may have to change my tune. Got to give love to the California Fair race caller who went to Sam Houston, who's now going to Parks.
Parks. All right. So Amon Ra Brown, UCLA. He was USC's biggest star last season, in my opinion. Where do you see him going in the draft? Because he's a stud.
Named after an Egyptian god.
Yep.
And he performs like one. Yeah, he is a stud, man. You know, here's the thing. We follow USC and UCLA and a lot of the local schools and the players from those schools pretty closely. Is it fair to say that I've been disappointed from SC's offensive players, quarterbacks onward, for a long time now? Is it a fair statement to say that they've disappointed more often than not? I mean, go through all the SC players that have gone to the league, quarterbacks, offensive players. I mean, Reggie Bush actually had a way better career than given credit for. It just wasn't as sexy and pizzazz as he was at SC. Lendell White had a couple of nice years. But overall, man, I think USC, in terms of the NFL, has underachieved for a long time now. In the 80s and the 90s, they were killer. You know, there was nobody better, ranging from Ronnie Lott to Keyshawn Johnson and all the way in between, everything in between. But I think this guy is a little bit different than some of the others that have not really lived up to their potential. I think he's a legit star in the making.
Agreed.
I really think so. But keep something in mind, Pop. This is a very wide receiver rich draft. If you need a wide receiver, you've got a lot of choices in this draft to go with. I don't know where he fits exactly amongst those, where he ranks. But this dude is legit. He's a baller. He'll have success in the NFL.
I would say that he is fortunate enough that this is a heavy wide receiver draft to where he won't have to fall to a bad team. Think about that part.
Good point.
You know what I mean? And I think if he falls into the 20s, if you're somebody like the Baltimore Ravens, this is your guy.
Great point.
This is for sure your guy. And if you're somebody like, say, he could be with his teammate over in Indianapolis, his former teammate that was at Michael Pittman Jr., who was at USC as well too. And this would be a nice little duo in Indianapolis to help out Carson Wentz as well too. And I know it'll be a little early, but I know he won't get picked at this spot. But say if Atlanta has the capability of getting him, now you can go ahead and say, now we can go ahead and put this short-term leash on Julio Jones. Maybe we can say that we're going to have him for the next year or two so we can get out of this big monster contract that he's really never really played up to. And I know a lot of people probably will not like that statement that I said that, but I think he regressed as they paid him. You know what I mean? So, and it happens. That's the NFL. It's natural. You get $150 million and $75 million if it's guaranteed. Then you got a great agent like Mike. Mike gets 10% of that as well too. So, you know, he tells you, go ahead. We made the money. So you made two statements. One is 100% correct, and one is 100% incorrect. And I just want to jump in on that, my man. The Mike Avenue getting you the money, 100% correct. The 10%, I wish it was correct, Pop. I wish. They cap us at 3% in the NFL. The union caps us at 3%. It's like a real estate agent. Even when you were the guy that took care of them right after they declared, they had no
knowledge. Not just that. And I don't recoup that money. You know why? So I'll pay. Get this. So I sign a player. I get him a rental car, training at a location wherever he wants, which also then means housing.
Right.
Car to get to and from. Chef, meal plan, high end, not like Taco Bell.
Right.
Massage therapist, some cash for bills, maybe even some cash for mom and dad or grandma.
Right.
Or how about in advance so I can get that car I want now and not have to wait until then.
Right.
All these things outside of the advance, most of what I just said is not recoupable. And the reason for that, it used to be like, hey, I'll put put up the money. You give it to me when you get paid. Cool.
Right.
Then you had big agencies who could afford to take a loss on that stuff because they just want volume.
Right.
So you'd have like a CAA or somebody come in and be like, you don't have to pay us back. Really? Nope.
Right.
Come with us. So they end up getting numbers that way. And it really put the squeeze on a lot of the small and medium-sized sports management firms. Really, really made it difficult, which is kind of why I had to change my model a little bit once I branched off from a bigger firm to really be just ultra selective on who I work with.
Right.
To just know that this guy is going to be the key. Doesn't have to be a star. Just has to be a starter in the NFL. But I digress. It's 3%. Baseball 5. Baseball 5.
All right. So I was given, so instead of me coming up with the imaginary number that they've been giving us all these years,
yes,
3.5%. People, is 3.5%. If you're going to be a sports agent for these guys, just know one thing: you're going to get 3.5%.
It's just 3.
Just 3.
No half. They won't even give us a half.
And then you're the one that has to clean up the mess when they have an issue in Las Vegas. And
exactly.
Everything stays in Vegas except
or
agent.
Yeah, or like midnight. Hey, Mike, where's I need that hookup to get into what's even the hot place now, the Wynn or whatever. Right. I need the hookup. Hook me up, dog.
I need 10 bottles. Dreas,
Yeah.
Flying in at 12:30 tonight. Make sure the club is ready for us at 2 a.m.
Exactly.
Right.
I don't want to wait.
Right. And I'm not waiting in any lines either. I don't even want to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's get into the ponies. It's that time. And Kentucky Derby, this is going to be one of the best ones in years. I haven't seen one this competitive in like 10 years. Seriously, you cannot call the winner yet. Don't say, oh, my goodness, it's going to be this horse. Oh, my goodness. But Hot Rod Charlie, I'm hearing some good things. I'm pretty cool with Doug O'Neill. So he said Hot Rod Charlie is training out of this world right now. And they just feel so good about him coming into this race. I don't see the I'll have another, though. And I don't see the Nyquist type of feel when it comes to Hot Rod Charlie, because the steps Hot Rod Charlie took to get there, but he did. He was in a very competitive Louisiana Derby. I'll give him that. The Derby he did win to get into this, to get into the group, and pretty much Hot Rod Charlie is now coming onto the scene, and he's looking to be another good story for America. He got the perfect name, Hot Rod Charlie. What are your thoughts, real quick, on Hot Rod Charlie?
This is the time. I think you said it right when Doug O'Neill does his thing. What's really funny, Pop? I just accidentally sent you a text. I was typing something to pull up in my search. And all of a sudden, I searched the pop database. So I apologize about that.
Okay. I thought I had said something wrong. I said, oh, man.
You're like, no, you have to pronounce it 2021 Kentucky Derby. No, but Hot Rod Charlie, I agree with that line right there where it says ready to roll. This is the opportunity. This is the situation when Doug O'Neill does pounce, right? He doesn't come in typically with this like super horse, like an American Pharaoh or even like California Chrome, a horse with a lot of hype. He usually comes in with a horse that's a little bit under the radar, but a horse that figures. Will have to run his best, but I think that this horse is. I think the setup and the situation, depending on the draw, could be ideal for him.
And doesn't he have Rosario riding this horse as well too?
I haven't seen all the final commitments yet. Has Rosario already committed? That would be a big sign, right, Pop? Because Rosario, right. You'd think him and
Mario,
him and Ortiz's and Mike Smith probably get their choice of horse stock. I would think
Mike Smith is riding one of Asmussen's horses. He's already confirmed that, and if it's Doug, usually Doug is gonna tag Mario Gutierrez for this role, but I don't know this time around. You know what I mean? Because he has different options. You know, there's Abel Cedillo there as well too. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I know Abel Cedillo is going to get a call to come to Kentucky this year for somebody because he's been tearing it up at San Diego and you know it's incredible.
Much love to all those Golden Gate guys who have done really well.
He made the transition very smoothly because I've seen other guys come from Golden Gate and they was back at Golden Gate in a month. And you know, pretty much so he's another good writer that has a possibility of getting there and getting the roses as well too. He wrote
hopefully JJ Hernandez too.
He did a great job with maximum security when he was out here as well too. So that's why I say because Abel Cedillo has became kind of a go-to for Baffert just a little bit. You know what I mean? Because Baffert isn't going to the same jockeys he was going to 5 years ago. There is no Victor Espinosa there to go to. You know, pretty much. So, you know, and whoever Flavion's going to get one of the top horses in the group, regardless of anything. And then another guy who's going to get a good, probably get a good mount as well, too, by going to Kentucky, Lil DVD, Drayden Van Dyke. You know, Drayden just left California. He's in Kentucky now with him and Stevens. Gary Stevens is his agent. So, let's talk about the Bafferts, Medina Spirit and Concert Tour. Is it Concert Tour or Tour? Rock Concert? Or because Baffert really likes Concert Tour, but Concert Tour was like really like another one of those Dave and Dave type horses that Baffert might have. You know what I mean? You remember Dave and Dave from the Olympics, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, of course. Dave and Dan.
Dave and Dan. You know, that's what I be feeling.
Yeah, I'm actually good friends with Dan. Dan O'Brien.
Yeah. When he has two power horses, I always feel like, well, let's call him Dave and Dan because one of them's not going to make it.
Yeah, totally.
You know, just like Dortmund and American Pharoah. If you knew horse racing, when we went into the Derby, everybody was like, I think Dortmund's is gonna beat everybody today. But Dortmund had to deal with a rival, Fire and Line. And Fire and Line was a competitive horse. And Fire and Line was, I'm not having none of that today.
Yeah, exactly.
Today.
Exactly. Well,
so Dortmund wasn't the same after that. But
no,
my thing is, I look at Medina Spirit, Concert Tour. I think of the same too, but not even in that sense. I think that Medina Spirit is a good horse, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the horse that smoked Medina Spirit at the end of this segment. But pretty much Medina Spirit is a pretty good horse, but Concert Tour is the one he's putting his chips behind. I'm gonna let you know right now.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
He didn't even mind that bad showing in the Arkansas Derby last weekend. Who cares? Third place, no worries. That was just a little practice race anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it wasn't a terrible showing.
No,
but it's not the typical like Baffert horse. They've dominated in Arkansas, right? Baffert horses have dominated at Oaklawn Park in these Derby preps, and every time what you end up seeing is a horse that lets that typically takes the lead, doesn't look back. Right. Typically. Right. You have a wire-to-wire horse, and then they pull away, and it looks visually so impressive because they blew away the competition. This wasn't one of those efforts. Now, if you're saying that there's a possibility that jockey instruction was don't make him give 100, you know, then that's probably why, you know, I don't know. That's probably why we're going to get better odds at Kentucky Derby, I guess is what I'm saying.
Well,
right. Now, I think Medina Spirit's probably going to be about 20-1.
Right.
And Concert Tour is probably going to be more like 5-1, which is a lot better than 5-2 morning line getting bid down to 8-5.
Right. But regardless of anything, though, we're going to talk about this horse right now. Essential Quality was always going to be the favorite going into this because Essential Quality is seen as a super horse, a freak horse, was already an early favorite going in, had a lot of money jumping on him early. He has the most points going into the Derby as well, too. So when you have the most points
deserving
Derby, you know, deservingly so, you know, and he didn't look too great in his last race either, but he's already good. He was already in the Derby. They just really just having a prep race. So once again, I said they probably said, look, just go out there and make sure the horse doesn't get hurt. Okay.
Yeah.
And the horse is going to naturally be in the mix of things, naturally be in the money. But at the end of the day, though, we know what we're preparing this horse for, and that's for the 20 horses that are going to be at Churchill Downs.
For sure. You know who Essential Quality is? Lennox Lewis. Nobody in America wanted Lennox Lewis to be the champ. Right. So we wanted like a George Foreman to come out of retirement. We wanted Evander Holyfield. We wanted Mike Tyson to pull his head out of his you-know-what at that time. It didn't matter. We wanted anybody besides Lennox Lewis.
Right.
That, to me, that's Essential Quality. Like, Lennox Lewis deserved the belts. He did what he needed to get there, and that's that. That's Essential Quality. Now, will he retain the belt? I'm going to bet no.
Right, because this is a tough one. As I told my friend the other day, I said, do not bet the favorite here in the Kentucky Derby. I said the reason being is because the favorite's not winning this year. It's because this is such a competitive, this is such a good group. It was already a really good group of 2-year-olds as is, and this really reminds me of the same type of situation we had with Pharaoh as well, too. Because people have to understand, American Pharaoh was in a great group of horses.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. You got Frosted, who was actually seen as the go-to horse once he came around. You know what I mean? Then you had other good horses like Texas Red. You know what I mean? Kent the Sormo, the Sormo horse. You know, there were really good horses in this group. Carpe Diem is putting out great babies on the track right now. So this is a really good group. And then the Nyquist group was a good group as well too. But this one right here it's something about this group. But there's something about this horse that I like a lot, and that's Rock Your World. I'm telling you, this horse is nice. When you think about it, you got Sadler, who sat up here and said, you know what we're going to do as a 2-year-old with this horse? We're not going to put you on the dirt against any of the Baffords. We're not going to even going to mess your mental up like that. We're going to put you on the turf, nice and slow, and then the horse rocked in 2 turf races. Then we throw you out on the dirt, prepared. Everything is right with the horse. And he destroys, and I'm going to say it again, destroys the Santa Anita Derby field, which was a very deep group. And I'm telling you right now, I feel like Rock Your World is a very confident horse coming in, and it doesn't know anything else but to win. And when your horse doesn't know anything else but to win, that is a recipe for me going to the window and cashing that ticket.
Well, that was a situation where I cashed because of you, because of Rock Your World, right? You were on this before anybody else. You were very confident. It was almost like you had a crystal ball. You saw that it happened. You went back in time and you said, "Hey, Mike, hey, players out there, everybody that's in my ecosystem, bet this horse because this horse is going to win. And you're going to get a square price on it. You're also going to get more than a square price in the Kentucky Derby." I can't believe this, but according to CBS Sports, they issued a revised morning lines today. Now, I don't know if that's from Vegas or if that's from an internal handicapper. CBS Sports line has Rock Your World at 31-1. 31-1. What a joke.
Right.
Now, there's no way it goes off at that. But, I mean, I don't know. What do you think would be off odds? 12-1?
Yeah, I think I'm going to tell you like this. They're saying 31-1 right now. And the wise guys, there's going to be somebody who's going to walk in there and he's going to put a barrel on them when they see that price. I'm telling you right now. I say 8-1 at the gate. And that's at the highest. I think that you're going to get some people like his owner, McNally, might go crazy on it. You know, John Sadler got their Ronas family as well too. They might throw a big pile on them as well too.
Sure.
You know? So that's, to me, is just asking for big money to come into the Derby, and that actually helps out people who are going to bet the favorite. That makes the favorite 7-2 in a situation like that. If you're going to be bringing in a horse like that at 12-1, who's already seen as a horse that can actually win the race, you know, I think that the way it's setting up now, that if you don't get if you get 5-2, that's going to be a good price for you. But I think 7-2 should be the price that the favorite goes off as in the once we get to the gate. And honestly,
I wouldn't be shocked if I wouldn't be shocked if you got 4-1. I'll tell you what, if Essential Quality was West Coast non-Baffert, it'd be 5-1. But
right.
East Coast players are gonna hit him hard. But I wouldn't be shocked if the favorite goes off at 4-1 in this year's Kentucky Derby.
Right. And to me, Sadler and Baffert are I know that they're probably real cool with each other, but all in a sense, they're like arch rivals, man. It's Baffert and his $1 million horses, and then it's John Sadler and his good old California bred horses and his good owner, Aronis, and he goes off and gets some of the horses he likes, but they figure out a way to get these horses winning. And
yeah, man. Look, you know how many people have said California racing is dead?
It's not to
People
me.
say it all the time. But look at how many Derby winners have come from out here since 2010.
Right.
And it's not just Baffert, guys.
Right.
O'Neill a couple times, Art Sherman, right?
Right.
So, I mean, come on. This is a very, very, very good circuit that's got some unfavorable California laws.
Right.
Simply put.
It's only taxes, bro. That's the only thing stopping California racing right now is the high tax.
And it would be nice to be able to have some maybe some casino money or something like that. Let the racetracks run the wagering, sports wagering when it comes out, and that'll problem solved.
Well, you know what? That's what I'm working on right now, man. I'm trying to figure out what board or committee I have to put together so we can make this thing go smoothly, make it go right. Because I haven't heard anybody talk about doing that portion, which will need to be put in place for us to even have a sports wagering situation, work out the way that everybody would want it to work out. You know what I mean? You do not want the government putting the rules out on how this is going to be. And we got people all the way from Italy right now watching the show right now. Shout out to Italy, man. What you got? That's what's up, man. I'm going to have to show that real quick. Listen, whoopty, I'm from Italy. Yeah, man. So shout out to Italy, folks. But all in all, though, I really do think that this is going to be one of our better derbies. And I guess I've already shown my hand with Rock Your World. And me and Rock Your World, it's just I was like this with Fire in the Line too. We're gonna walk everywhere together, baby. It's okay. I'm with you.
Little shout out to Italy as well in that Rispoli. Isn't he killing it? Santa Anita
is Rispoli rode, and Rispoli's riding him in the Derby too.
Fantastic jockey, man.
Yeah, and Rispoli is the king of the turf when we get down to San Diego. You know that, right? You get to San Diego, Rispoli Pratt.
He won the riding title, didn't he?
Yeah, Rispoli Pratt on the turf all day, every day.
Yep.
That's what you play.
Makes sense. Euros, right? Makes sense.
And then you can just go ahead and exact them up in some of those races as well, too, because those guys are killers on the turf by the surf. So
do I have a quick minute to tell you a story about Pratt?
Yeah, quick minute.
Okay, so so any horse player out there knows about the NHC, the National Handicapping Championship. There's a lot of different ways to qualify. Well, I was in a tournament and I'm down by about $700, which basically means you really have no chance. So I calculated it to see what is one horse, the longest shot. If he won, can I even get there? So I look and there's this guy doing a work vacation with a mount. His name is Flavian Pratt. I'm like, who is this guy? He literally was here for 2 weeks just to ride and then going back to France. This is before he became who he was. And I'm like, Frenchman, Euro, this is a turf race, maiden claiming, wide open. Let's go with the 7 at 35-1. Horse flew from behind, nabbed everybody at the wire to win at 35-1. That's what propelled me into the NHC championship in Vegas.
Oh, wow. And I think, you know what? I totally think I remember that day as well, too, because I got burned pretty bad. I remember him winning on a 7 horse at a big number.
Yep. That's exactly what it was.
the end of a pick 4 or something of that nature. And I got one Flavian story for you too. It's a little shorter though. He was riding a horse by the name of Rocket Heat down in Delmar, right? And for some odd reason, they let Rocket Heat is a hell of a horse, like one of the fastest horses I've ever seen on the turf. But he never won big stakes or anything like that. He was just always a really good horse. So pretty much Rocket Heat comes out and, he's 30-1 or whatever. And I've been seeing this kid Pratt tear it up on the turf. I say, okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna jump into this right here. And just like your story, Mike, he took him to the front. They didn't look back. It was a sprint race. And when you get a sprint race with a really, really fast horse, oh boy. And he was rocketing to the finish line. So pretty much that was that day. I would say, oh, this is my guy right here, Flavian Pratt. And this is a guy riding $20,000 claimers at the time. You know what I mean? Nobody took him as seriously, and people were like, well, man, Della's throwing him the whatever horses, but he was doing something with that. You know what I mean? So much props to Flavian Pratt. It's good to see his come up because he wasn't even that good in France. He was okay in France. You know that, right? When he came here, he's an absolute stud because the different ways of how we approach races. He said in France, you never take a horse on the front end on a turf race. But he said, shit, when I got out here, boy, everybody takes the horse on the front end and takes it for the ride of its life.
Yeah.
You know? And there was just tactics that he always wanted to do that he couldn't do in France. And he's been able to actually work that out and do very well with that as well, too. So,
California racing suits his style more than France does. But you're right. He was no Frankie Dettori over there or one of those types of guys.
Right. He was more of a, say, like a JJ or an Abel, you know what I mean? Just a guy who's hustling. And pretty much, man, so, we can go through this horse racing thing all day. You know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got to go ahead and talk about I got to talk about the player of the night last night. Jayson Tatum went off last night. 32 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Cashed out the ticket for me last night as well, too, that -105. And good comeback for Boston last night. This is the hottest player in the NBA right now, Mike. Mr. Jayson Tatum. And I think that Boston's on the way up. They're not a championship team this year, but Boston's going to make a big move. And I promise you, Boston will be making a big move here in the offseason once their season is done to bring in another stud star. I know that they might have to lose one of their young puppies, or they could possibly just say, you know what, it didn't work out with Kemba Walker and find some, because it's a dime a dozen to get these point guards in the NBA as well too. But this is absolutely something pretty good to see with the Celtics, that their future is oh so bright. Real quick, what are your thoughts on Tatum's absolute outburst in the month of April?
Big reason why Boston's now a 5 seed in the East. Winners of 4 in a row, peaking at the right time for Coach Brad Stevens' team. Tatum's a stud, man. He's really, really got a well-rounded game, as that stat line shows. Could score, rebound, dole him out. Good team leader. This guy is a building block for this team, and I agree with you. They're not just going to sit back and let the Lakers in the West and the Nets in the East collect all these players, and they're just going to sit by quietly. Right. That ain't Ainge and company style.
Right. And there's a lot of good young players. They need, honestly, if they were smart, they would try to make a deal to get De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox is probably the most underrated player in the NBA right now. The guy is absolutely crushing it in Sacramento, but nobody knows this because Sacramento is the most irrelevant team in all of basketball. They're a Jacksonville Jaguar, pretty much Jacksonville Jaguars, who in baseball is really irrelevant as well too. Like always relevant. I don't want to say the Tampa Bay Rays because they just went to a World Series, but who's always irrelevant in baseball?
That's a good question because
baseball is because baseball moves around a lot. So, there's going to be teams that's going to have great seasons and,
the easy answer to me, the initial answer to me would be like the Marlins.
Right.
But they've had some good years too. So I guess that's a big props to baseball in making sure, that they've been able, like if you want to say Tigers, well, Tigers were in the World Series not that long ago. They have the best
city too, though. That's the whole thing. Like Sacramento, Jacksonville are like cities that people. I'm passing by that city in these big states of Florida and California. And we don't have teams like that in baseball. Like every baseball team is in a major city.
You don't have the Sacramentos and San Antonios and the Utahs and Salt Lake City and stuff like that. Portland, the NBA kind of sowed seeds in some random cities, like the B and the C cities. Not in terms of quality; these are all wonderful cities, but just in terms of relevance, in terms of major markets. Sports major market wise relevancy. So I agree with you. Sacramento is a place where unless everything comes together and you got Bibby and Chris Webber and Vlade and White Chocolate and all these guys at the exact same time and you're competing for a championship, then you're going to be irrelevant.
And a time machine, all that good stuff. All right, let's get to the Lakers. Since we're so spirited and talking basketball right now. Lakers last night, Mr. Caruso, the Caruso Show, comes up with a big shot last night to go ahead and put away the Hornets, who are having a pretty good season this year, even though they did lose their star player and LaMelo Ball. But still, they're having a hell of a good season this year. The Hornets, they're much better than the expectations. That I can say that. They're well over their win total as well, too. I'm going to have to go ahead and show that graphic as well, too, because there's a lot of teams that actually went over their win total that people thought were going to be pretty bad this season. The Grizzlies are having a good year, too. But let me stick to the topic at hand. The Lakers had an excellent game last night, and they've won their last 6 out of 10 without AD and LeBron as well, too. So pretty much the Lakers are actually a damn good team. And this comes back to the coaching of Frank Vogel. And Frank Vogel's doing such a great job because he's so committed to the defensive end of the ball. So, man, I'm telling you right now, the Lakers, even though they're the 5th seed right now, no biggie, because Denver just had their issue occur with Murray going out for the rest of the year. So now they had to salvage to being even a 6, 7, or an 8 seed right now, even though they did just pick up Aaron Gordon. But that just gave me good hope that the Lakers will already catch Denver immediately, because Denver already has a tough schedule coming up as we speak. And the Lakers actually have AD coming back by at least no later than the next week and a half. You know what I mean? He could be back next Friday. So thing is, the Lakers are in shape to actually, pretty much make a monster run once again in the playoffs, but they don't need to be a top seed to do it. They just need to jump right back into that top 4. But I think they finish up as the 3rd seed for sure here once we get down to everything, because the Phoenix Suns, they might not hold up as long as everybody thinks that they are. I think that's the team that's going to fall out of favor and wind up flip-flopping with the Lakers real quick. And then the Lakers might have to not get that Western Conference final against the Clippers. It might wind up being the Western Conference second round against the Clippers this year. So we'll see how it goes. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think they're definitely going to overtake the Denver Nuggets because they're only a half game out from that slot. Right. So, and I think it's important to flip-flop the 4 and the 5 seeds, get that extra game at home instead of at the altitude when it comes to moving on. I think it's going to be a big task, though, to get to Phoenix, because keep in mind, Phoenix has 5 more wins, and in the important loss column, 6 less losses. So that's a 5.5 game lead. Not a whole lot of time left. So I don't think that they're going to catch Phoenix. And unless the Clippers kind of let off the gas pedal, which it doesn't look like, they're peaking at the right time, winners of 6 in a row, then I personally, I'm going to predict that the Lakers get the 4 seed, and that's where they're going to stay.
Yeah, and then that means that they'll have to square off with Utah, which is actually a better option for a second-round matchup for them than a Phoenix and a L.A. In a Clipper team, in my opinion. I think that, pretty much we both know that the Jazz are overachieving. They're good, but they're not that good at the same time too. They're making a lot of 3-pointers. But what happens when they're not making a lot of 3-pointers? They're really an average team. Come on. They literally were down by like 20 points last night to the Thunder. They came back and were up 22 at one point, but then they only won the game by 10. They were up 91-69 in the fourth quarter. I looked up to see the end of the game score. It was 96-106. Those are the things that you cannot afford if you're a really good team. You know what I mean? You can't afford to lose leads like that against a team that hasn't won a game all month and really is only won one game in their last 13. And this is the Thunder. So pretty much, Utah, I know you can coast, but still at the same time, Utah has already showed their flaws. So it is what it is at the end of the day. And I think that we are onto something, and the Lakers are on to Boston tomorrow, and that should be a very good game, because it's always a good game when you're playing against the arch rival, the Celtics. Everybody has to remember the Lakers only have one rival in this league, and they wear green, and that's the Boston Celtics. Everybody else is just a victim.
Agreed.
All right, let's go ahead and get into the Blue Crew Daily, then we can get into these commercials as well too. We went well over, but it's me and Mike, so it's all good.
Talking sports, barbershop style, man.
We love to get our clown on. So pretty much Blue Crew Daily, real quick. 7-0 shutout. Bauer looks good in the home debut. 7 scoreless innings. I think that we're on to something. Hopefully they don't suspend Bauer for the next weeks or so, because I'm still thinking about that ball issue that they're talking about right now, and hopefully everything can stay intact with that, because the thing is, that's serious business right there with the balls and everything like that. Now the pitchers are starting to be put into scandals just like the hitters were in the early 2000s. So damn, can you just let baseball be baseball? And we got one of the worst commissioners as well too right now. There's a lot of controversy about taking the game out of Atlanta as well too. And I think that was absolutely just absurd, because baseball hasn't put their foot down about anything political, and then they go ahead and do this. You know what I mean? Baseball just be going about its business like, okay, guy gets shot in the street, we'll going about our business. Pandemic, hey, we can play in a dome. We don't need to have a bubble. We can just go ahead and travel and still play baseball. Here's if I
get political for a quick second, yeah, I agree with you. The game should not have been moved, and I'm still trying to understand why the law itself is supposedly racist. So they're requiring people to have IDs. You have to have IDs for everything,
right?
So is this white people saying that blacks and minorities don't know where the DMV is,
right?
Aren't capable of getting a driver's license, can't afford a car,
right?
I almost think that's where the racism actually is.
Right.
Not in the ID requirement.
Right.
That's my hot take for the day. Back to the Dodgers. Back to the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Look, the Dodgers are so good. It's almost, I'm going to make a prediction. They're so good that it's going to be boring by midseason.
It's boring now because it's just so fun to watch.
Good.
They're so good. It's like, okay, you're like the team that you created on MLB on your MLB PlayStation game, and you sat there for 5-6 years creating them, putting them together, and they're just this ultimate team that's going to automatically win 120 games this year. You know what I mean? And that's what you see with the Dodgers. But we know there's going to be a point where the Dodgers are going to have their woes, but that's baseball for you at the end of the day. But like you just said, Mike, there's not much to say about the Dodgers. But I got
and they're deserving of credit in one key area, real quick. Guys like Justin Turner and Max Muncy, they were cast-offs from other teams. You know what I mean, Pop?
Right.
So it's not like the Dodgers signed big name free agents at every single position. They took cast-offs from other teams and made them into all-stars.
man. And you're right. And you got JT, you got all those guys that they took care of, and now they are reaping the benefits. Come on, Chris Taylor was like a backup. You know what I mean, in Washington, and pretty much Chris Taylor. I think Chris Taylor started it because Chris Taylor was the one who came out that opening day, hit a grand slam, boom, and he was just a stellar clutch player. Then a guy like Kike Hernandez, we don't have Kike anymore, but Kike, was a throw-in in the D. Gordon trade. He was a throw-in. We already got rid of the superstar that came a part of that deal. That guy's gone. Wasn't that Grandal? Yeah, Grandal.
I believe so.
Grandal was the star player that we took on for that. Grandal is now on his fourth team, since he left us. And Yasmin wasn't bad. It's just that he was more of a hitter than a catcher. So the Dodgers need somebody to be a catcher, not a hitter. So pretty much now with the new catcher, Will Smith, he was a stud in a sense. He's really good, and you can have him play first base as well too. So the Dodgers are just in great shape at this point, and there's nothing anybody can say about that. And I don't know if the Yankees or whomever in the AL has really the firepower to even deal with this Dodger team. This Dodger team is very, very, very good at the end of the day. So
100% agree.
So pretty much I'm going to keep you around with me for a couple more minutes. We got to go to a commercial break.
My pleasure.
I ain't never went to a commercial break 45 minutes into the show, but still, we're going to go to a commercial break. Mikey special, that's why. Anybody else?
It's a special conversation.
Right. HatClub.com. HatClub.com. We'll be right back. All right, man. Go back for real though. Check out HatClub.com. You guys will get 50%. You guys get 10% off on any $50 order or better. Once again, they got those drip hats, Mike. They got this beautiful hat that is red and yellow. I think you would love it. It's like I think it's a Colorado Rockies anniversary hat. It's pretty cool. So pretty much, you guys go get those dope hats, and they're well worth it. I saw a guy who has 140 caps from Hat Club over the last 8 months. That's how dope their hats are. So WWI Hat Club, proud sponsor of the show. You guys check them out. Get your 10% off on any order that's $50 or better. With that, we will be right back with the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
You are.
All right. Sorry about that. I had to run real quick. But we are back, and let's go ahead and jump into some baseball. Our first game is going to be the Padres at the Pirates. And if you were betting Pirates last night, you came up big. Pirates won the game 8-4 last night. I had the over in the spot last night, but today we got ourselves a good matchup here, Mike. This is the closeout of the series, I think, as well, too. So we got the Pirates as one of the bigger dogs of the day. And that's something to look at in the sense to say to yourself that, hey, this could be a good spot for, Padre bettors because you got Joe Musgrove pitching today. And congratulations to Joe Musgrove as well, too. The San Diego native goes ahead and gets the big no-hitter, Mike. So that was pretty good, right?
No doubt about that. In fact, Musgrove so far, small sample size, but in 15 innings, he hasn't given up a run this year. Yeah, so he has 0 earned runs, 0 ERA in 2021 so far. So this guy's on fire. He's pitching really well. Now, I was told a long time ago, always bet against the guy that just threw a no-hitter. I'm not sure that that's a good angle because typically that means the pitcher is hot. Now, if it's kind of a crap pitcher that does it, maybe. Musgrove's pretty decent, though. And the Padres are coming off a loss. So I think they rebound to win this game.
And this is his former team, too. So I definitely think Joe Musgrove is going to go over and have a doozy of a game against his former team that actually used to have him looking pretty bad most days when he was pitching. You know what I mean? Well, they weren't hitting. He was pitching decent, but they weren't hitting. So it is what it is. So pretty much Padres, Pirates, I think that the edge does go to the Padres here, but we will see how it shakes out, and we'll go from there. Our next game up is going to be another pretty intriguing matchup. And I think that to myself, when you have the Mariners and the Orioles, you can go either way. It doesn't really matter where you go here. But I think I like the Orioles a little bit more today. That's the whole thing. I think the Orioles are a good play. Minus 125 on the money line as well, too. That's a good value for you as well. I think that is, it's nothing that's too expensive, so pretty much you can go ahead and try to get yourself a good win on the home team today. They split a double hitter yesterday, so hopefully today, the Orioles, who've been playing good baseball to start the season off, they go ahead and win the split of this as well, too. But I have them winning today. What's your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, Seattle's playing good baseball, too. They're above 500 so far. Yeah. I think the play here is the over, right? Yeah, but Matt Harvey, formerly known as the Dark Knight, I think he's lost that title not just because he's not in New York, but because his performance has just been terrible over the last few years. I know there's been some injury issues, but when he's been healthy, he has not been good, gives up a lot of runs. Justin Dunn, I like this kid. He's got a Pedro-like frame, 6'2", 180. Young pitcher for the Mariners. I think this guy is going to be good in the long run, but so far he's going to go through his bumps and bruises. I think this is a game that looks like 9-6 over.
All right. Well, at least it's the Orioles winning the game, okay?
Let's have it. Baltimore 9, Mariners 6.
Okay, let's have the Orioles winning. But Mike knows he's going to make that side bet on me right now. Alternate line, Mariners. Alternate line, Mariners. Pop was tripping today. All right, so let's get to the next. Detroit at Houston. And tell me, hey, look. This might be the biggest. This is what I call a trap series. This isn't a trap game. This is a trap series. Detroit's taking the first 2 games by 4 or more runs, Mike, the first 2 days. And this was an over game for us yesterday. And it was a money line game for me Monday at plus 200. So why are the odds makers keep on putting this game out at plus 205 to the Tigers and minus 230 to the Astros, knowing that they're going to get everybody in the book to bet the Astros because of that? And we had the 88 to 12% on Monday with the Tigers and the Astros. And anytime I see 88% on one team, I'm going the other way. I don't care if I get beat by 50. I'm going the other way. Because I can't walk with I'm not walking with the public. I don't like being in crowded spaces, okay?
Hey, look, they didn't build Vegas on 88% from the public winning, right? So I agree with you. I take a contrarian approach. But even from a baseball approach, the Tigers are the play here. They've got their ace going, Fulmer.
Right.
So This is a team that's playing some decent baseball, outperforming their projections. They're on a hot streak right now. The Astros are on a cold streak, loses 4 in a row. Tigers are confident. They've got their ace going. Yeah, they want to close this series out.
And as bad as the Tigers been, the one place where they can get wins at is in Houston. I've noticed that over the years because I keep finding myself taking the Tigers against Houston. But today, well, I'm not going to be doing that today. I think today I'm more on the scoreboard with this game.
How about the youngster in center field for Detroit, Akil Baddoo, crushing it, absolutely crushing it.
I wonder if he's related to Erykah Badu.
I think the spelling is different for the last name.
It's not Badu?
Nope, it's Baddoo.
Okay, so then he must be related to somebody else.
To another
Badu, Akil Badu. And that's actually and that's our graphics guy. My graphics guy, his name is Amani Akil. So pretty much that's the kills is killing it right now. All right, so when I look at this, I say scoreboard, but we'll see how it goes though. But odds makers, you know what you're doing right now. There's some fool in Vegas right now, like I'm gonna put two. Man, the Astros better get my money back today. They done lost twice in a row this week.
That's exactly what's going on.
I'm getting them with a -1.5 and a 2.5. The Tigers are terrible. Well, this is Major League Baseball. Professional athletes. Remember, you're not playing. This is even in Little League. The bad Little League team can beat the good Little League team on a day. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
It happens. I was there. I played for a bad Little League team, and we beat the best team. So I know it happens. It's baseball.
Exactly, man.
It's baseball.
And like I said, they have their ace on the hill too. So I think the Tigers are good play.
The Tigers got a shot, but I think the Astros actually do get the game though today, to be honest with you. But I'm scoreboard watching though, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And if you do really want to say the Astros, I say -1.5, or you do the 2.5 bet. Try to see if they can win by 3 runs or better. All right, let's move on to the next game. And next game is going to be a good one. This is going to be the Phillies at the Mets. Well, the Mets did well yesterday, and they were actually able to get two good wins over the Phillies yesterday as well too. A shutout and a 1-1, and they won by 1 in the first game as well too. I think the Phillies should be pretty good here, but the Phillies disappoint me, Mike. They disappoint me mightily as well too. They're really wasting Bryce Harper, to be dead honest with you, and it's only a year in, but still, they're wasting Bryce Harper. He should have came to LA. I know he's regretting it now too, because every off day he could be back home in Vegas, and just you're in Philly, it's cold, and eventually they're going to start blaming you for why they lose all the time. It's coming. It's coming very soon. To a theater near you, Mike. So just know that. To a sports center near you.
I was hoping that he was going to stay with the Nationals. I like it when you have homegrown guys stay, right, like Mike Trout and stuff like that. But in terms of this game, you have like a nice little revenge matchup. Zach Wheeler's on the mound for the Phillies, going up against his former team, the New York Mets, who pretty much gave up on him. If you keep in mind, he was a big prospect in the San Francisco Giants organization, and came over in a big trade, which helped solidify the Giants' 2016 championship run. They dealt him to the Mets. He's been very inconsistent with the Mets, but he's off to a very, very nice start with the Phillies so far. A couple of really nice starts, 2.31 ERA. If there was a side that I was going to play, it would be the Philadelphia Phillies.
Well, Mike, I'm going to go with the plus money here. I like the Mets at home. Let's go ahead and get a good win over at City Field today. Man, that's a beautiful ballpark as well, too. In Queens. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our final game of the day. And it's going to be it's not our final game of the day, but this is another really good one. This is going to be the Marlins and the Braves. The Marlins actually beat up on the Braves yesterday, 14-8. Today is a new day, though, Mike. I think the Braves should bounce back pretty good today. but I'm scoreboard watching again. I can't trust this. I hate this game because it seems like when you want to bet the Braves, the Marlins beat their head in. When you bet the Marlins, the Braves beat their head in. So the smartest thing today is just the scoreboard watch this game. But who do you have winning the game if you have a winner here?
I think the value, at least, is with the Marlins. The Braves aren't playing very good baseball. The Marlins are playing decent baseball. And they've got a pitcher that, Neidert, who's done fairly well so far in a very small sample size.
Right.
Charlie Morton on the other side, he's a pretty good pitcher as well. So, this is probably a no-touch, but, the Braves are losers of 3 in a row. And an angle that I do follow is in baseball, you ride streaks. So if a team has a losing streak, I keep playing them until they change that. If they have a winning streak, same thing. Keep riding it until something changes. And that's how you could rip 11, 12 in a row sometimes in baseball. And the Braves are on a losing streak. I'm taking the Marlins plus 195.
And there it is. That's value for you right there. So whoever's watching, you see Mike got the value for you. You got to be in baseball, you got to be a big value player to me. That's the way that you stick around betting baseball, because that's the only way it's going to be fun for you. If you bet favorites every day, you're going to get your heart broke. And you're going to break your bank as well too, and not in a good way. All right, so pretty much our final game of the night. We already talked about the Dodgers, but let's go ahead and look at their matchup for tonight because we have them in our pick six for today. So pretty much, we have the game in the pick six, but the Rockies coming into this one plus 230. They beat the Dodgers on opening day. Since then, they've dropped 6 in a row to the Dodgers. So pretty much, the Rockies are always struggle in LA as well too. But this is the type of day where you tell yourself, don't get too cute with the Dodgers now, okay? Because this is a finale game of a series and things of that nature. So don't get too cute with the boys in blue, okay? Because they are balling, but they're going to lose once or twice a week as well too. You have to get ready for that. So you have to put yourself in the mind state. Could this be a losing day for the Dodgers? And then that will give you confidence in the Rockies, because the Rockies do have the full scouting report on the Dodgers as well too. So it's always a dangerous game, regardless of how the outcome of these games are for the Dodgers. That's why they have to go hard and beat this team by 7, 8, 9 runs, because if they try to have a close game with them, then that's when they get into a little bit of trouble. So, once they, break their spirit, it is what it is. So pretty much, what are your thoughts on that real quick, Mike?
I think it actually could be a low-scoring matchup, low-scoring game. Dustin May's been pitching. He's been dealing. He's been pitching really, really well. And, the way baseball sets up schedule-wise, aces usually pitch on the same day. Number ones, oftentimes it lands on the same day. So repetitive theme here. Colorado has their ace on the hill, Gray, who is a very good pitcher on the road. And he does as good as he can in Colorado. I think this is an underplay, man. I think that this is a low-scoring game. I think it's one of those tight games that you're talking about. But the Dodgers prevail 4-3.
4-3 Dodgers. All right, I got you. Okay, so with that, Mike, you already know what time it is, man. You are the absolute best, brother. And pretty much, I really did enjoy your views on everything. I had a good time with you today. If I had a 2-hour show, it would be awesome. But we're already over the hour. Man, so pretty much, man, I want to thank you so much. But I'm gonna bring you back next Wednesday once again. So always a pleasure having you on the show, Mike. Well, let me know when you're gonna need me to come on to your show again, because I love talking with you and Gino and stuff like that as well too.
Absolutely, my friend. You could book it. I'll have my people get in touch with your people
as usual.
Make it happen. But thank you so much for inviting me. Love being on with you. It's a pleasure. It doesn't seem like an hour. It seems like 15 minutes. So if any of your followers and listeners and viewers want to follow me on Twitter at Mike Abadir, ABADIR, all one word. Pop, thank you for my friend. I'll see you next Wednesday.
Yes, sir. That's Mike Abadir, one of the best. All right. So with that, we will be right back. But you guys make sure to check out Paramount Plus. Put in the promo code VSX, and you guys will be watching some of the best TV that you can watch over the years and things of that nature. So pretty much Paramount Plus, check them out. You guys will get a great deal using the promo code VSX. All right. So with that, we will be right back. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles Live.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right, we are back, and we are on the stretch drive of the show as well, too. So let's go ahead and get into our first NBA game of the night here, and it's going to be a good one. It's going to be the Nets and the Sixers, and this one should be a doozy. But you know what? You have a depleted Nets team right now, so don't put too much into it if they get blown out in this game tonight because they don't have their whole team here. So pretty much they got Kyrie going tonight. KD should be available as well, too. And it can work out for him. But you know what? Embiid is an absolute monster this year. You haven't seen a center this good in Philadelphia since Moses Malone. So pretty much this guy is killing it right now. And he's giving them a good opportunity on playing in the NBA Finals this year. As long as he's healthy, they have a big chance because you have a 7-foot point guard and a 7'1" center. And, that's tough to beat. So pretty much I think tonight the Sixers and Nets have themselves a game. But if you're betting this one, I would suggest for you to either scoreboard watch or you can go ahead and just jump on the points with the Nets tonight because usually when they give the Nets a big points as a dog, they usually come through this season. So we'll see how it goes, see how it shakes out. But there it is, Brooklyn at Philly tonight. We move on to our next game, and it's going to be another good one. Knicks at the Pelicans tonight, and the Knicks are playing some of the best basketball in the NBA right now. The Pelicans are starting to get it together as a young unit as well, too. So this is a very good game to look at tonight, and I feel like that both these teams are going to give it all they got here. That's why we have the spread at 2.5, and this is going to be one of the better games of the night, competition-wise. So we'll see how it goes, see how it shakes out. We move forward to our next game. Now, our next game is going to be a real, I would say this is going to be a game between two rivals in their division with the Grizzlies and the Mavericks, and both these teams are vying for that playoff position as well, too. So this one, I think, can work out very well for bettors if they look at it in the right sense. And I think the right sense is not to pick a winner here and just go ahead and scoreboard watch because that's the best idea. And I think that this is a game that does go over as well, too. So we'll see how it shakes out. We'll see how it goes. We move forward to our next game of the night. And this one right here is going to wind up being our dog of the day. The Miami Heat at plus 165. I just don't trust the Nuggets right now with anything they're doing. So pretty much I'm going to go in this spot and take this team right here, which is going to be the Heat tonight, plus 165. They're a 4.5-point dog tonight, too. And then the over-under is 212.5. So there is a low over-under for this game tonight, but I'd still do like Miami as our dog of the day. And then we move into our last game of the night between the Wizards and the Kings, and the Wizards are actually the favorite tonight, slightly. And the Kings, you know what? They do play better in these spots when there's a slight dog or whatever at home. But I just love the way the Wizards been playing as of late, where everybody's kind of overlooking them, and then they just wind up popping you in the face. and pretty much they've been able to get themselves some really good wins on this road trip as well, too. Got a great win against Golden State the other night on a 4-point play, and then had another great moment happen in the Utah game against the team with the best record in the league. So, you better take the Wizards seriously. And they beat the Lakers with LeBron in the house that night as well, too. So you can't sleep on the Wizards, all right? So there it is, the Wizards and the Kings tonight. This is going to be another really good game. We'll see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. Let's go ahead and jump into talking tickets. And talking tickets today, as we in our primetime pick 6, we got a 48-1. We're going to go with the -1.5 on the Padres today. Then we're going to go ahead and take the O's with the -125. And then we're going to take the under 9 with the Tigers and the Astros. And we're going to have the Mets today with the +105. And then we're going to do the over 8.5 with the Marlins and the Braves. And then we're going to do the Rockies +1.5 today. So that's going to give us a 48-1 ticket. Yesterday, we hit this ticket at 55-1. So hopefully today we go ahead and duplicate that feat, so we can just keep on stacking up on a week that has already blessed us with some big moments as is. So there it is, primetime pick 6, 48-1. Now we move forward to the NBA Super High 5. We got the +7 on the Nets, the under 219 on the Knicks and the Pelicans, the over 225.5 on the Mavs and the Grizzlies, the Heat +165, and the Wizards -135. And that's going to be our NBA Super High 5 at 30-1. So you guys, there goes some more big value for you for tonight. Don't ever tell me that I don't ever give you anything, okay? So there it is. You guys try to go ahead and get some money out of that. And you guys can go ahead and make these bets over at UWager. UWager is where the world bets at. You guys use the promo code VSXPOP, and you guys will be able to start your sports betting journey with a 50% direct deposit, with a 50% match deposit. And pretty much if you put up 250, they put up 125. You got a 125 free play to run with to start your sports betting journey. Okay, so with that, that's a wrap on today's show, and I want to go ahead and send a big shout out to my graphics producer for having patience with us today. I know I went a little over and everything like that, but it is what it is at the end of the day. And pretty much want to thank our guest, Mike Abadir, once again for coming in to giving us some knowledge on the agent game and giving us his 2 cents in the baseball world and the hoop world and horse racing world as well too. And we'll be back tomorrow, same time, noon. And so you guys make sure to tune in, tell a friend as well too. And this is the premier sports betting show with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. And this is the Primetime Angles Live, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.